Capital. I'm going to take you through my updated BTC analysis and why I believe the next few months and towards the end of the year and even into February 27 could be the most important setups of this cycle and going into the next. I'll do a quick overview on the 4 scenarios as you can see here on the chart. Back in February I did an X post on the 4 scenarios, with scenario 1 being the bottom of the cycle, scenario 2 as you can see here head and shoulders, and scenario 3 being a double top, and scenario 4 all-time high blow off top. With, as you can see, the recent bottom we did have at the time breaking under the 200 EMA and being down 50% from the all-time high that we've had at 126k. The scenario 2 and 3 were looking more favourable for Bitcoin as a retracement, having dropped so much before then getting down to scenario 1 as a bottom. Now, as you can see, we price from that 60k low and breaking back above the 200 targeted us to the liquidity and rejection zone of the lower low, and from this point I did an X post arrowing a 50-50 direction either to scenario 2 or a breakdown to where we are now. And as obviously you can see, we are where we are, taking out the lower low, the recent low that we had, and targeting this trend line here, as you can see, blue TL. So, get rid of that. So, looking at this chart right now, in my opinion, scenario 2, 3, and especially 4 are null and void for the time being. And scenario 1 now is looking highly more favourable than where it was before. Because all we have done here is taken out liquidity and reversed. And people, you would have had a lot of buys in this area. Just under the 55 EMA, not even managed to touch it, finished short and rejected. Now, over the last couple of weeks, I've been analysing the 200 EMA a lot more, and I've been going over the monthly chart, which I will quickly go through with you now, and having an overlook on an outlook on the last 2 cycles. Now, as you can see, every time BTC has the best buying opportunities, the price action goes under the 200. Very shortly in 2018 to 19, at around 112 days, we had a flash crash of COVID 2020, which everyone who's been in space long enough will be aware of that. And then 2022 to 2023 is around 266 days, which is where I have anywhere from October to February for this bottom, if it is to rhyme with the past and history of the BTC chart, of where the bottom could come in. As you can see, and as we mentioned just before, the 200 EMA got breached and broken down, but then quickly rose above before rejecting and coming back in again. So this is where scenario 1 is looking more favourable in my opinion. And the other interesting pattern which I managed to look at, which is from top to bottom, we will go through it now. They are very similar in the amount of months. So once the top comes in, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 13 to 14 months. So from top in 21, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 months. So if 126k was the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You're looking around September, October time. Doesn't mean that this has to correlate exactly, but it also fits in roughly with the time spent under the 200 EMA on the weekly. So we cannot ignore this 42 to 37, 38 to 42k area for BTC for a possibility of a bottom being in and wiping out. And coincidentally enough, as most altcoin investors and traders are aware of how dire the altcoin market is right now, Bitcoin still has, in my opinion, 30 to 38% to drop, and most altcoins, give or take the odd individual runners like Zcash, everything is down 90+%. There is blood in the streets, and BTC dominance, if I quickly show you now, my apologies, the internet's been a bit slow with the weather recently. So we have, as you can see here, I have a target around the 44%. We have this triangle and trend line to complete. Now this, in my opinion, is where, for the next, from now up until October, anywhere from October to December to February time, over the next 6 months, 6 to 8 months, we could see alts increase a lot. And for BTC to carry on dropping, as all capital has to rotate. We've had gold and silver, which I've done a video and I will post in the next couple of weeks regarding gold and silver rotating and blowing off, which is looking very possible they have done. And for that capital then to rotate, because if you remember back, the $12 trillion was liquidated, and 7 or 8 of that was liquidated from gold and silver. That money is rotated, it's not gone. And I was speculating that that would be going into the crypto market, but as you can all realise in the narrative at the moment, the IPOs and the stock market seems to look like where the rotation has happened. Now, everything else, gold and silver have topped, stock markets are topping, IPOs, Anthropic, SpaceX, Anthropic, OpenAI, they're all overextended. Everything's overextended. These companies aren't worth what they're valuing, but the hype and the narrative, stocks and shares, ISA, everything around the stock market at the moment is very high. Retail are very highly driven there at the moment. BTC has rotated, which topped out, if we have a look and we go back, stopped out in October last year. Enough time and build up for the IPOs and stocks, energy stocks, AI stocks to be pushing, which they are. And the only thing that is down as a whole dramatically are alts. It makes sense for all this rotation and this money to start flowing into alts, and for BTC to target this 42 to 38k region. Don't get me wrong, if this price, if the BTC price drops lower, even better, more of a discounted price. But this is where I would be buying BTC, and the scenario 4 is the next, in the vicinity of the next cycle top, or one of its all-time high targets. So just look at just at the top of the support zone, which is a 290 to 300, around a 300% increase just at that alone. So keep a close eye on Bitcoin, as this market now, as it's maturing, is becoming, the manipulation is changing, it's becoming a new animal. But all money rotates, buy low, sell high. When one asset becomes at a really low and discounted price, buy it. When it becomes too high, sell it. At some point, from one high to a low, another asset will be very, very cheap. And that's all this is about. And the longer and the more mature these assets become, the harder and harder it's going to become for people to be acquiring these assets, as price is only going to increase. But interestingly enough, if we get this bottom in 2027, this is targeting and gearing up for the big bubble, 2029, 2030. It's a very skeptical point in time. So I will leave this video here, and I hope you found it interesting and useful. Thank you very much.